Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime Time. Now headlines. Myanmar military and Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army signed a formal ceasefire agreement which came into effect on Saturday, halting the constant fighting, Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Monday, as reported by Xinhua. Convict of RG car rape murder case, Sanju Roy has been sentenced for life in prison by the Civil and Criminal Court, Sealdah, West Bengal today. Giving hope to the 15-month war in Gaza, Israel and Hamas freed some of each other's hostages. Accused Grishma in the high-profile Sharon Rash murder case has been sentenced to death by the 20thJAN Additional Sessions Court on Monday. Now for the news in detail. The Myanmar military and the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army signed a formal ceasefire agreement which came into effect on Saturday, halting the constant fighting, Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Monday, as reported by Xinhua. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning claimed that China has mediated the peace talks between both parties in Kunming, China's Yunnan province. Myanmar military and MNDAA came to an agreement after the 7th round of the peace talks. As per Xinhua, Mao Ning said easing of the tensions in northern Myanmar is common interest of various parties in Myanmar and regional nations and will contribute to the security, stability and development of the China-Myanmar border area. Myanmar has been plagued by violence since the military overthrew the elected government of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi in 2021. The coup sparked mass protests which eventually escalated into a widespread armed rebellion, claiming thousands of lives as per Al Jazeera. Mao Ning reaffirmed China's support to safeguard Myanmar's independence, sovereignty, national unity and territorial integrity. China will continue to actively promote peace talks and provide support and assistance for the peace process in northern Myanmar, she said. The military has been struggling to fight opposition to its rule on multiple fronts around the country, and several areas have now fallen under the control of different rebel groups. Myanmar's economy has been struggling and the military has banned dozens of political parties. According to Al Jazeera, the UN had urged all parties adhere to their obligations under international humanitarian law. It also called on all parties to guarantee unimpeded humanitarian access to deliver aid to the most vulnerable. In the first week of January, UN said more than 3.5 million people have been displaced by the conflict in Myanmar, an increase of 1.5 million from last year, the Al Jazeera reported. US President-elect Donald Trump closed his last rally before taking oath as a 47th president by bringing back his famous dance moves while grooving to YMCA, a song that has become synonymous with the Republican leader's campaign. The 1978 song was revived by the band Village People on stage with Trump at a Make America Great Again rally at the Capital One Arena. As the band members danced on stage, mimicking the iconic hook steps of the song, the incoming president also joined in and showed off his popular dance moves with both his fists in the air. The members of the band also shook hands with Trump as they danced and the audience cheered them on. Besides Village People, musicians like Kid Rock and Lee Greenwood also performed at the rally.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you live in the town. There's no need to be unhappy. Young man, there's a place you can go. I said.
The 70s disco song has earned a prominent place in Donald Trump's Make America Great Again rallies and Mar-a-Lago fundraisers, with a 78-year-old often seen dancing to the YMCA while his supporters sing along. However, the band did not always see eye to eye with the Trump campaign. After granting them permission to use the song for rallies in February 2020, the band requested that the song no longer be played just months after in June. With the Republican leader soaring into power in November, the band's founding member Victor Willis said he did not mind the track being played at Trump rallies since he seems to genuinely like the song. Now moving on to the next news. As a part of the organizational elections of the ruling BJP, the party in power on Monday formally announced the names of new district presidents for the 10 organizational districts. During a press conference at Kushabhau Bhawan, Dr. Sanju Roy, the state Prabhari in charge, announced the list. The party appointed Gauranga Bhaumik as the district president for Sadar Rural. Bhaumik was formerly the Mandal president of Majilishpur. Ashim Bhattacharjee retained his post as president for Sadar Urban District. The party appointed Sabida Nath for Kamadi District and Binay Deb Parma for Kawai District. Biplab Chakraborty was elected as the district president of Sebahijala North, Uttam Das as the district president of Sebahijala South, Bimal Kar has been named as the district president of Unakoti, and Kajal Kumar Das was appointed the district president of North Tripura. Dibayan Chowdhury got the charge of South Tripura Pilak district, and Patiram Tripura is the new district president of Thalai. It may be noted that the BJP, to improve its organizational utility, formed 10 district committees. The state is originally divided into 8 revenue districts. Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha congratulated the new appointees of the political crucial post through a brief social media post.
Unnakoti Sri Bimal Kaur, Dhalai Sri Patiram Tripura, Khowai Sri Binoy Deb Burma, Sadar Rural Sri Gaurango Bhaumik, Sadar Urban Sri Oshim Bhattacharjee, Sipaijala North Sri Biplab Chakraborty, Sipaijala South Sri Uttam Das, Gomatite Srimati Shobita Nag, South Tripura Pilak Sri Dipayan Chowdhury. এই 10টি নাম ইলেকশনের মাধ্যমে সংগঠন পর্বের মাধ্যমে আপনাদের সম্মুখে তুলে ধরা হলো। আমি সাংবাদিক বন্ধুদের কাছে রিকোয়েস্ট রাখবো যে আপনাদের কলম এবং আপনাদের ডিজিটাল এবং প্রিন্ট মিডিয়া আরো যা মিডিয়া আপনারা ব্যবহার করেন তার মাধ্যমে ত্রিপুরাবাসীর কাছে এই 10টি নাম আপনারা পৌঁছে দেবেন। আপনাদের যদি ছোট আপনাদের যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে, আপনাদের প্রশ্নের উত্তর সংগঠন পর্ব নিয়ে যদি প্রশ্ন থাকে সেই প্রশ্নের উত্তর আমি দিতে পারবো। আপনাদের একজন একজন করে কয়েকটা প্রশ্ন যদি আপনারা মনে করেন করবেন, করতে পারেন।
এর মধ্যে কতজন নতুন আছে?
কতজন নতুন আছে সেটা আমার ক্যালকুলেট করতে 7জন নতুন আছে। আমাদের মহিলা একজন আছেন, এসসি আছেন 2জন, এসটি আছেন 2জন, 5জন আছেন জেনারেল থেকে।
The opposition Congress party in Tripura on Monday expressed its grave concern over the prevailing law and order situation, countering Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha's statement where he suggested a sharp decline in overall crime rate. Speaking to the media persons at Congress Bhavan, party spokesperson Prabir Chakraborty said the Chief Minister's statement is an apparent bid to hide the real picture. He said according to the data of the Home Ministry released in the month of December, a total of 113 people had been murdered between January to November in Tripura. As many as 1,485 cases of crime against women had been registered, while cases like thefts, kidnapping, dacoity and scuffles stood at 145, 87, 9 and 22 respectively. In December alone, 5 people had been murdered, 9 died by suicide and 22 people from unnatural deaths. Apart from that, 8 cases of domestic violence were also reported. He said the figures speak volumes of the law and order situation of the state, and the government is busy convincing people that everything is hunky-dory. The incidents of communal violence in Kandachera and Kaidurabari are excluded from the list, he added. Hitting out at the ruling party, Chakraborty alleged that the BJP had failed miserably to address the unemployment crisis of the state. He said lakhs of well-qualified job seekers are waiting, but the government seems to be ignorant about the crisis. In the recently concluded assembly session, the government revealed that more than 13,000 posts had been filled up during its tenure, whereas different ministers in the past had given contradictory statements.
রাজ্যের মানুষ আপনাদের কাছ থেকে কি পেল? ওই সময়ে যদি দুর্নীতি, অনিয়ম, বেনিয়ম এই সবগুলি যদি ধরি আমরা, সেই সময় এই 7 বছরে সেই সময় বাঁচতে সময় নিয়েছিল 35 বছর। আর এই 7 বছরে যেভাবে আমাদের রাজ্যে অনিয়ম, বেনিয়ম, দুর্নীতি, প্রতারণা এই সমস্ত বিচার পদ্ধতি কিছু বেড়ে গেছে, এটা 7 বছর সেই সময়কার চাইতে এই সময়ে এগুলি বেড়ে গেছে কয়েক গুণ বেশি। অন্যদিকে আইন শৃঙ্খলার প্রশ্নে আমি সেটা অল্প কথায় শেষ করবো, এর আগে যেটা বলে নিতে চাই, আজকে যারা এই উপমাগুলি দোষারোপ করছেন সেই সময়কার সরকারের সময়ের সাথে, তার এর সাথে শুধু বামপন্থী সরকারের সময়ের সাথে না, এরা উপমা দেন ওই কংগ্রেস টিউজেস পিরিয়ডের সরকারের সাথে উদাহরণ পাবে। কিন্তু আমি বলতে চাই, কংগ্রেস টিউজেসের সরকারের সময়ে এটা তো স্বীকার করার কোনো উপায় নেই, অনেক সীমাবদ্ধতা সত্ত্বেও 35,000-এর বেশি যুবক যুবতী যে 5 বছরের সময়ে সরকারি চাকরির ব্যবস্থা করা হয়েছে। শিক্ষক কর্মচারীদের তাদের ক্ষেত্রে যুগান্তকারী সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়ে বের কমিশন লাগু করা হয়েছে। আর এই ক্ষেত্রে যেটা বলতে চাই যে ওই সময়কার বা ওই বামপন্থীদের, বিশেষ করে তাদের চতুর্থ বামপন্থী সরকারের সময়ের পরবর্তী সময়গুলিতে যারা বিভিন্ন ধরনের যারা অপকর্ম, দুর্নীতি, অনিয়ম, বেনিয়মের সাথে যুক্ত ছিল, নানা অভিযোগে অভিযুক্ত ছিল, তারাই তো আজকে এবং ওই কংগ্রেস শাসনের সময়কালে যারা কিছু কিছু অনবর্তিত কাজের সাথে জড়িয়ে গিয়েছিল, তারাই তো আজকে বিজেপির সরকার এবং দলকে আলোকিত করে রেখেছে। আর ওই সময়ে যারা, আমি কংগ্রেস টিউজেসের সময়কার কথা বলতে চাই, সেই সময়ে যারা অনাচার, নানা অনবর্তিত ঘটনার বিরুদ্ধে সরকারের পরিচালনার দলে থেকেও, কংগ্রেস দলের ভেতরে থেকেও রাজ্যব্যাপী যারা প্রকাশ্যে তাদের এই সমস্ত অন্যায় কার্যকলাপের বিরুদ্ধে মুখে দাঁড়িয়েছিল।
We'll take a short break, so stay tuned.
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के मार्गदर्शन एवं मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ के कुशल प्रबंधन से महाकुंभ 2025 अब तक का सबसे भव्य, दिव्य, हरित और सुरक्षित आयोजन होगा। 13 जनवरी अर्थात पौष पूर्णिमा को अमृत स्नान से महाकुंभ 2025 का विधिवत शंखनाद होगा। 26 फरवरी को महाशिवरात्रि पर अमृत स्नान तक कुल 6 प्रमुख स्नान होंगे। सदियों से चले आ रहे अमृत स्नान में सभी 13 अखाड़े शामिल होंगे। सोने चांदी की पालकी एवं हाथी घोड़े पर सवार साधु संत आध्यात्मिक शक्ति तथा वैभव का प्रदर्शन करते हुए अमृत स्नान करेंगे। मान्यता है कि शुभ मुहूर्त में डुबकी लगाने से अमरता का वरदान मिलता है। पुण्य और अमृतत्व की इसी अभिलाषा को हृदय में समेटे प्रयागराज महाकुंभ में पहुंचने वाले श्रद्धालुओं एवं तीर्थ यात्रियों के स्वागत के लिए तत्पर है महाकुंभ मेला स्थल।
सनातन गर्व महाकुंभ पर्व महाकुंभ 2025 प्रयागराज।
Welcome back. Convict of Arjika rape murder case, Sanju Roy has been sentenced for life in prison by the Civil and Criminal Court, Sealta, West Bengal today. Rupees 50,000 fine was also imposed on the convict. Sealta Court Judge Anirban Das said it was not the rarest of rare case. The victim's family is to be given compensation of rupees 10 lakhs for the death of the victim and also rupees 7 lakhs. Advocate Rehman, later speaking to media persons outside the court, said Sanju Roy has been sentenced to life imprisonment till death. A fine has also been imposed under 3 sections of BNS on the convict.
আমি অ্যাডভোকেট আনিসুর রহমান एडवोकेट अनिशुर रहमान
सर आज क्या हुआ है थोड़ा हिंदी में बताइए।
आज जो संजय का जो दोषी साब्यस्त किया था 18 जनवरी 2025 में, जो आज का सीबीआई का चार्जशीट और ट्रायल का बाद आज जो फांसी का जो सवाल उठा था, फांसी नहीं हुआ, उन लोग को आमृत्यु जो कारावास आमृत्यु जेल उनको हुआ और उसी का साथ साथ फाइन भी हुआ तीनों सेक्शन में। 64 रेप में जावज्जीवन, 66 में आमृत्यु कारावास और 103A जो मर्डर, उसी में भी उनको जावज्जीवन कारावास दिया। एक ही संगे तीनों सेक्शन में फाइन भी किया। एक ही साथ में आपका उनको संजय का जो केस है, राष्ट्रों के स्टेट को डायरेक्शन दिया लर्नेड कोर्ट, जो 10 लाख को और 7 लाख एंड 10 लाख मोट 17 लाख उनको फैमिली को क्षतिपूरण, विक्टिम का फैमिली को क्षतिपूरण देने के लिए निर्देश दिया।
सर आपका नाम?
एडवोकेट अनिशुर रहमान।
As the Union Budget 2025-26 nears, the Ministry of Finance has highlighted the significant Union Budget announcement, particularly focusing on the development of the semiconductor and electronics manufacturing ecosystem. In a social media post, the ministry stated that the scheme for program for development of semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem aims to provide attractive incentive support to semiconductor packaging and semiconductor designing companies. The Semicon India program, approved on December 15, 2021, has made significant strides in strengthening India's position in the global semiconductor industry. Under the program, the government has approved 5 semiconductor projects and supported 60 semiconductor design companies. These initiatives are expected to attract a cumulative investment of Rs 1.52 lakh crore. Under the production-linked incentive scheme for electronics, India has recorded production worth Rs 6.14 lakh crore and exports of Rs 3.12 lakh crore. This has led to the creation of over 1.28 lakh direct jobs in the sector, further solidifying India's status as a global electronics manufacturing powerhouse. The ministry also emphasized that technologies in convergence, communication and broadband technologies will play an important role in achieving the vision of a developed India or Viksit Bharat in the coming years. Giving hope to the 15-month war in Gaza, Israel and Hamas freed some of each other's hostages. 3 Israeli hostages, Emily Damari, Romy Conan and Doron Steinbrecher, were released by Hamas in a tense handover to the Red Cross in Gaza City. Later, Israel released 90 Palestinians prisoners from its offered jail in West Bank region. Israeli Defense Forces posted on X this is first such exchange of hostages after a 15-month-long war. Israel also said 4 other women hostages would be freed by the militant group in the coming 7 days. The ceasefire was delayed by 3 hours after Israel vowed to keep fighting until it received the names of the hostages to be released by Hamas. The militant group's armed wing posted the names on social media around 2 hours late. Hamas blamed the delay in handing off the names on technical field reasons.
Since the October 7th massacre, Our mission has been clear. Bring home all the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Today, as part of these ongoing efforts, we welcomed home 3 hostages, 3 young women after 471 days in Hamas captivity. Let me tell you about these 3 young women. Romi Gonen, who turned 24 in captivity. Romi was dancing with friends at the Nova Music Festival when Hamas terrorists invaded and attacked the festival, massacring and abducting young people from around the world who were celebrating peace, love, and unity. Emily Damari, who turned 28 in captivity. Emily, a dual Israeli and British citizen, was abducted by Hamas from her quiet home in Kibbutz Kfar Aza. Terrorists shot and killed her dog and dragged her into Gaza. And Doron Steinbacher, who turned 31 in captivity. Doron, a veterinary nurse who brutally abducted from her home in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, was still in her pajamas. We cannot imagine the horrors these 3 young women have endured in 50 months of Hamas captivity. Today, we salute and embrace them and their families as they reunite after so long. We must also remember the brave soldiers who risked their lives and those who paid the ultimate price to ensure that this moment of the hostages coming back home was possible. We cannot and will not forget the 94 hostages, including women, children, and elderly, remain in Hamas' brutal captivity. Our mission is not over until every single hostage comes.
Accused Grishma in the high-profile Sharon Rash murder case has been sentenced to death by the Nayatinkara Additional Sessions Court on Monday. The court gave capital punishment to the accused who had poisoned her boyfriend Sharon Rash, a 23-year-old man, with pesticide-laced Ayurvedic decoction. The third accused, Grishma's uncle, Nirmala Kumara Nair, has been sentenced to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment. While pronouncing the quantum of punishment, the court observed the act of inviting Sharon over under the pretext of sexual intimacy and subsequently committing the crime cannot be ignored. It is the state's responsibility to ensure punishment for criminal acts. Evidence such as Sharon recording a video of the suspicious Jews despite Grishma asking him not to record indicates that he suspected something was wrong. Sharon fought for his life for 11 days without even consuming a drop of water. The court further observed that Grishma betrayed the trust of her boyfriend Sharon, manipulating him emotionally. She has no evidence to support claims of mental pressure from Sharon, the court said, adding Grishma's defense that Sharon had physically abused her also lacks any proof. On the contrary, Sharon had never blamed her in any messages or communication. While Sharon remained committed to the accused, she was simultaneously in contact with her fiancé. Accused Grishma faced multiple charges under the Indian Penal Code. She has been booked under sections 302 murder, 364 abduction with intent to commit murder, 328 administering poison with intent to harm life, and 203 obstruction of justice by providing false information of the IPC. The court on Saturday heard the final arguments of the defense and prosecution on the quantum of punishment to assess Grishma, who was found guilty by the court on January 17. The court had also found her uncle Nirmala Kumara Nair, the third accused, guilty under section 201 of the IPC. Her mother, Sintu, was acquitted. Meanwhile, Special Public Prosecutor versus Vinit Kumar, who represented the victims' family, said that while he was arguing before court, he was confident that evidence will be accepted by the court, and also argued that there is rarest of the rare case category in this and capital punishment should not be awarded. He further stated that it is an exemplary judgment.
Conducive with my perspectives and also my thought and thinking, because while I was just going through entire evidence and while arguing the matter before the court of law, in fact I was confident that that would be admitted and accepted by the court. because such a fashion the evidence was tendered in the court. So that was accepted by the court, and the court has literally, that has been examined, analyzed, and also at the time when I argued that the highest and the rarest of the rare case category is there in this particular case and capital punishment is to be awarded, that was also well discussed and well narrated by the court in open court, and probably just even all the media people and who were present there in the court also could have just heard that. So I think just I need not explain that in what fashion the court has just pronounced the judgment. In fact, for the first time in my official engagement as a special public prosecutor, this verdict in a very, very fantastic manner the court has, because the court, I should say one word about the court also, because in a very short span of time, about 40 days or so, in fact, this after framing the charge, and once on October 14th, the trial was started, and thereafter it could be concluded within this very short span of time. In fact, we have to just salute the court for concluding in a very justifiable manner, and the pronouncement of judgment also, because this should be, it should set a history and a model to the judiciary. In fact, I say that. I would say that it is not alone for the whole Kerala, but in fact, this is for the whole judiciary in the country. This is what I feel. An exemplary judgment, I would say.
Capital punishment needs to be got by the Dishma and also the Nirmal Kumar, third victim.
No, absolutely no. I just expected and I argued only for.
That's all for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.